Now, you guys have been watching me make videos for years, and believe it or not, a lot of people have asked about my toolbox. Well, first of all, it is a Snap-on box. It's a 50th anniversary Mustang box. I got it a few years back. Our Snap-on guy came in one day and said, hey, you need this, and he was right. I ended up buying it because I actually love this box. But I'll give you guys a quick tour. I'll show you what's in the box that we use every day to make our CJ videos. So like a lot of toolboxes, this top area kind of becomes a catch-all to throw things. But like I've said in videos before, you need lighting. Got my main light here, a bunch more flashlights back here, and then a big light down on the side. You know, gotta have tunes for when we're shooting when there actually isn't a camera turn on, which is rare, but does happen. All my batteries for my drills, impact guns, stuff like that. Had to get the mini Snap-on box. When I saw the full-size one, the mini had to go along with it. Cleaning stuff. Always clean your tools when you're done using them. You get a lot of grease on them. Tools are expensive. Keep them clean. You know, keep your hands clean. Play-Doh, which might seem silly, but if you're ever trying to check if something clears, Play-Doh is a great thing. Put it on top of your intake, make sure your hood doesn't hit. It's one of those little silly things. Kind of use it all the time. Of course, zip ties. Then hanging off the side are thread checkers. Check these out. These are actually pretty cool. So these have been a lifesaver many times. If you need hardware and don't know exactly what you need, these are gonna be available in either a standard or a metric. I ended up buying both of them. You can get these on Amazon, all kinds of different places. But basically you've got a male and female thread, coarse thread, fine thread, and all the different sizes. So if you need another bolt and aren't sure what size you need, use the thread checkers. Again, saves you a ton of time. Now let's kind of go drawer by drawer. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have the most organized toolbox you'll ever see, but top one here, this is mostly wheel and tire stuff, extra lug nuts, valve stems, TPMS sensors, a few random actually gifts from customers I've gotten over the years, and just kind of like some miscellaneous hardware, you know, things I don't use all the time, but when I need them, they're gonna be here. Now we got what I will call my gripping and prying kind of drawer here, all my pry bars, plastic pry bars, panel removal tools, clamps, quick grips, all things for kind of either prying things or holding things when you're working. These quick grips actually come in handy a lot when you have to hold something in place, as do the clamps. And like I said before, plastic pry bars, definitely a great tool to have in there along with some real pry bars. And a few other things here, you know, this is for removing steering wheels and a couple syringes for different fluids. Now we have my junk drawer. Anybody who's got a big toolbox probably has a junk drawer, and this has got lots of random stuff in it, all kinds of replacement push pins. That's actually a tuner for using Roush's tunes to program stuff. You got a temp gun in here, plastic rivets, lots of little rubber ends. This is great for hoses. If you're disconnecting something, we'll put these on for brake hoses, coolant hoses to stop them from leaking. Spark plug holder. This is actually great for getting spark plugs out of 2-valve and 4-valve heads because they're so deep down in there. So just an old spark plug that I cut up. O2 extensions, some clutch springs in here, and just a lot of miscellaneous stuff that I use all the time. I mean, like I said, it's not exactly organized, but I have a pretty good idea what's in here, and when I need stuff, I can usually find it. Now here's a drawer I use every time we do a video for the most part. This is gonna be all of my ratchets and extensions. Got my torque wrenches in the back, breaker bars, inch-pound torque wrench over here, and then all my half-inch, 3/8, and quarter drive stuff. My 3/8 ratchet that I love from Snap-on. All my extensions, including locking extensions, regular extensions. And this, which makes no sense to have here, but this is actually an excellent oil filter wrench. This thing will grab on if you're trying to get a hold of a rough filter and makes it really, really easy to get them off. The little small drawers here we'll go through quickly. This is my receipt drawer. We don't want to add that up. This is sticker drawer. Everybody's got a sticker drawer. This one is gloves, ratcheting straps, and some extra bulbs and stuff from videos we've done. And this is my electrical drawer. So all of our connections, extra wiring, extra bulbs, extra fuses, soldering iron, all that stuff is in here. Then the most popular drawer in anybody's toolbox is gonna be your socket drawer. Obviously we got a huge selection of sockets here. We've got our, you know, 1/2-inch drive, 3/8 drive, quarter drive, in both standard or metric. A lot of specialty sockets down here, some socket drivers over there, a set of wheel sockets in there. Got my E-sockets, which I actually have not used till recently, but I'm seeing more and more cars come with those E-torque sockets, which is basically a Torx but the opposite. So I got a decent collection of those now. You know, your hex Allen sockets, your normal Torx sockets, 12-point drive, you can use them a lot. I've got axle sockets over there. Now right here in the back, one of the most fun things I have is my 10mm survival kit. Basically, it is a 10mm in all different applications, deep, shallow, swivel, impact, you name it. Whole collection of spare 10mm because God knows you're gonna go through those when you work on cars. Then right below my sockets is gonna be basically an extra set of hand tool drawers, I guess I would say. Pliers, cutters, wire tools. I've got all my screwdrivers in here, micro and full-size screwdrivers, screwdriver bits, little baby sockets that actually take that a lot when we're going out to a parking lot or something. That's actually an excellent little toolkit that I have in there. And then lots of pliers. These people ask about all the time. These actually came from Craftsman. These are great for moving a lot of those little forward push pin clips. And this I get asked about constantly. This is from ATD. That is for getting exhaust hangers, the insulators off the hangers, which can be a huge problem sometimes. That tool makes that a lot easier to do. And then obviously, big set of lockjaws, depending on what you're doing with them, and all kinds of pliers and cutting tools and wiring tools, and we use them all the time. Now we got my wrench drawer. I said one of my wrench drawers here. This one has offset wrenches, ratcheting wrenches, the little mini wrenches, some offset ratcheting wrenches. These are for coilovers. We use those all the time as well. These are for changing bits on grinders. And then this tool here, which is one of my favorite tools for doing headers on a Coyote. This is very small, ratcheting head, flex head. This makes it a lot easier to get to some of the bolts. This is gonna have your standard wrenches, so your standard size, your metric size. Those are brake line wrenches, more fuel fitting wrenches. This UPR wrench, which has been a great tool when I travel and race, I take that with me everywhere. That's great for doing fuel lines and all kinds of small stuff here. Little oxygen sensor wrench. And over here, this is a great wrench too if you're working on a 5-liter Mustang. This is for the distributor bolt, I should say, kind of tough to get to. Another neat tool to have in your box. Next we got here, this is gonna be a bunch of adjustable wrenches, some magnetic tools and some mirror tools, great for picking up things that you drop in engine bays, which we do all the time. Strap wrenches. Everything else is mostly gonna be Allen keys, Torx bits, my set of files that I use. The T-handles are actually very, very nice when there's certain things that are really, really tight and make it a lot easier to get to that stuff. And for some reason, a random battery tool right in the middle. Next, we have the problem-solving drawer here, which is basically going to be hammers. I got body shop hammers, all kinds of regular style hammers, punches over here on the side, random serpentine belt tool kit that I bought 5 years ago that I thought would be really cool to use and still haven't ever taken out of the package. A couple strap wrenches, and that's about it for this drawer. But yeah, I mean, hammers are, anytime you're working on a car, you're probably going to break out a hammer. And the bottom drawer, some miscellaneous stuff in here. Tape measure, lots of tapes, and anything that kind of comes in a small box. I got my disc caliper brake tool set in here, your dies, all that kind of stuff down here. Voltmeter, all my drill bits, extra sets of bits, Dremel tool, basically all the little stuff that you kind of want to keep together in small packages, I all keep down here. The tap and die set, this is something you've seen me reach out to a couple different times. This is great for fixing threads if they get messed up. A lot of times we do that off camera, but that's a nice tool to have in your toolbox there. Random piece of wood covered in electrical tape, which I use for all kinds of stuff, but again, a nice little tool to have in your toolbox. And little side drawers over here, vice grips. Again, you can't go wrong with vice grips, all kinds of different sizes for different things we might have to do with them. This drawer here is just full of bags, but I use baggies all the time. I rave about this in other videos. When you take stuff apart, put it in a bag, label it, that way you know what it is when you put it back together. This would be like another good miscellaneous tool drawer. I got my fuel line, airline fitting stuff here, digital caliper there, small little rivet gun, gauge feelers. These are all clutch alignment tools back here. Great little tool here for adjusting headlights on an SN95. Protractor, just like I said, some generic tools back there for moving radios. This is actually really nice. This is like the little wire ties you get for your bread, but they're stronger. Great for holding things. I've actually held calipers with those. You can get those at Ace, Home Depot. And finally, the heavy tool drawer. This is basically, as you can see, I'm a big fan of DeWalt. I use a lot of their stuff every day. Heat gun, impact guns, Sawzall, all my DeWalt stuff is in here, along with some older school tools in the bottom, corded drills, timing lights, stuff like that. But obviously the big stuff I use all the time kind of goes to the top. We've said so many times you need a well-stocked toolbox to do the installation. We figured it was time to tell you what actually should be in there. Like I said, as a bonus, people had asked about what was in my toolbox. I didn't think anybody would really be interested, but we figured we'd give you a quick tour while you were there. But again, we'd love you guys to watch our videos, and we're doing this stuff at home. It's very important to have the right tools for the job, but with the tools and the videos, you should be back on the road in no time.